Namaste. In this podcast, I have shared a beautiful story of Bidkar Maharaj. The story itself is very insightful. And if you are an evolving soul, then you will definitely resonate with the message of this beautiful real life story. It is a story of transformation. How a man, a very, very rich man, transformed and became a great saint, Bidkar Maharaj. And along with this story, I have also shared certain insights on the challenges that you face while meditating. In addition to this, I have also shared the difference between Rahu and Ketu. Rahu may also sit for meditation. Ketu anyhow is meditation. So both will meditate, but the intention of Rahu is very different than that of Ketu. Ketu has absolutely no agenda, whereas Rahu sits down, but there is an agenda. What is it? You will find in this podcast. Always remember, if there is an agenda, then nothing happens on your spiritual path. Many of them sit and they sit for long hours because their agenda is to attain moksha. They are so much in rush to attain liberation. And look at Mahakasyap. Mahakasyap was the first enlightened disciple of Buddha. And he was not in rush. In fact, he wanted to become the last disciple to attain enlightenment. He was not at all in rush. But look at the miracle. He became the first disciple to attain enlightenment. And then he laughed. And Buddha asked, "Why are you laughing?" And Mahakasyap said, "Because I wanted to become the last disciple. I was not in rush, because I wanted to be in your omnipresence." Because Buddha had a rule. Once his disciple was enlightened, he should not stay with Buddha. He should reach out, he should travel to the farthest shores. He should not stay with Buddha. And Mahakasyap loved Buddha so much that he wanted to be with Buddha. He was not in the rush. He was not in the rush to attain enlightenment, and neither was he interested in attaining moksha. He just wanted to be with the Master. Such a beautiful soul, Mahakasyap, and he became the first enlightened disciple of Buddha. such souls are one in a million. Otherwise, there is so much rush on the spiritual path. Everybody is in the rush to become a Buddha. And those who are in rush, they are always stuck. And those who are not in rush, someday that miracle happens. Enlightenment is always accidental. Always remember this. And this is how Mahakasyap attained enlightenment. So many more insights I have shared in this podcast. I was wondering what title I should give to this podcast because it has so many things in it. But those who have been following me closely definitely will listen to this podcast. So let's begin. Mind is the problem, not you. You are not the mind. When you sit, meditate, observe the mind, witness, and focus on your breathing. When you sit and close your eyes, what happens? Millions and millions of thoughts like bees start buzzing through your mind. This mind is a traffic of thoughts. So then, what is the solution? One thought is the solution. Yes, one thought. That thought can be an affirmation, a mantra, or Lord's holy name. Focus on that one thought to keep all other thoughts at the bay. Bhagwan Raman Maharshi quotes, meditation helps concentration of the mind. Then the mind is free from thoughts and is in the meditated form. Meditation is sticking to one thought. That single thought keeps away other thoughts. Distraction of mind is a sign of its weakness. By constant meditation, it gains strength. The mind is behind many things. At one moment it is here, and the other moment it can go to the other part of the world. When you sit, let there be nobody around you. When you sit for meditation, ensure that there is no disturbance around you, that you are alone in a closed room. Close the room, let there be total silence and total cleanliness in the room. If you are a beginner, then use meditative soothing music to get started with meditation. The mind can focus on the music while you focus on that one thought, the mantra. You can recite Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. You can recite Om Namah Shivaya. You can recite Sri Ram, Jai Ram, and many such beautiful soothing mantras that produce healing vibrations. In the beginning, it is very difficult. Then slowly, it is difficult. Then it is manageable. Then it is possible. You see, it is a process. Rome was not built in one day. Similarly, your meditation will not fructify in one day. It will take time. But the most beautiful moment is when you embark on your journey within, when you start meditating religiously with full devotion and patience. Remember, the only journey is the one within. Whether you are working in a company, whether you are running a company, whether you are a student, whether you are a housewife, or whether you are a lover, meditation will help you to get more clarity about yourself, about the mission you are on, about the problems you are facing. Moreover, meditation will help you to calm down and attain peace of mind. Peace of mind is something that your dollars and your rupees cannot buy. It is not available on the outside, so how can you buy? You cannot. There are people having stocks of money and cars and airplanes, some of them whom I have met, but they are always found to be restless, no peace of mind. They are eating on gold plated plates and yet no good night's sleep. Like an owl, they remain awake whole night. Everything is there, all kind of pleasures, sex, luxuries, food, you name it, and they have it. And they have it in abundance. And yet, there is absolutely no peace of mind. Remember, money, fame, wealth cannot get you peace. They may get you pleasures, but not peace. That is why it is said that everybody should get rich and famous and should have everything they ever dreamed of, so that they will know that it's not the answer. Out of 1,100,000 awake, 10 take the effort, 1 succeeds. To conquer the mind, to conquer the self is million times difficult than to conquer the world on the outside. It is said that Diogenes once said to Alexander the Great, "Have you ever thought about one thing? Meditate over it. You want to conquer the whole world, but are you aware that once you have conquered the whole world, then what? There is no other world. Then what will you do?" It is said, just by Diogenes saying it, Alexander became very sad and said, "Please don't mention such sad things. Let me conquer the whole world, then we will see. But don't talk about such sad things to me. It makes me feel very sad." He had not conquered the whole world yet, but the very idea that if you conquer the whole world, what are you going to do? There is no other world, and you will feel stuck. The mind will ask for more. Remember, the mind lives through more, and the more cannot be fulfilled. That is impossible. It ends in tears. Every desire ends in frustration, because every expectation is the beginning of frustration. Why does every desire end in frustration? There are only two alternatives. Either you achieve the object of your desire, or you don't achieve it. But in both cases, it will end in tears. If you achieve it, then you will realize the utter futility of it all. A rich man sees the futility of his riches for which he has worked day and night. And now, whatsoever he has attained is absolutely useless. It fulfills nothing. You can have 2 apartments, 3 bungalows, and 12 super luxury cars, but you are the same person. as empty as before. You can live in a palace, but how can you change your inner meaninglessness? You will be as meaningless in a palace as you are in a hut. In fact, you will be more meaningless in a palace because while you are in a hut, you can still hope that one day when you have managed to get a palace, everything will be okay. You can hope. A man in the hut can hope, but a man who is in the palace has no hope. He has already reached there. The cul-de-sac point has arrived. He feels utter hopeless, but he cannot share his state with other. He may share it with an astrologer, but not with others. People will think that he worked hard for nothing. It is good that Alexander the Great was not able to conquer the whole world, else he too would have felt the same inner meaningless. Because now the whole world was acquired. What else was there to conquer on the outside? And if he would have said, after conquering the whole world, it was useless, I wasted my time and my life, people would have thought he was stupid. This is the state of all Alexanders that exists in today's world. They have everything. They are flying in private jets, but in the night they cannot sleep. In the day they cannot live with joy. And top of that, they cannot share their agonies and their frustrations because what will people say? Life always gives you option to choose. You can choose to become Alexander the Great, or you can choose to become Diogenes. Those who are ruled by Rahu, those who have prominent Rahu positions in the horoscope, in the first house, second house, fourth house, seventh house, 10th house, these men and women are always found to be restless, with absolute no peace of mind, unless there are other supporting planetary aspects. Those who are ruled by Sri Ketu are those who someday, sooner or later, start following Diogenes. They are beautiful beings. The moment they awake from the sleep of many births and rebirths, they don't look back. They are on the way towards the beyond. Life indeed is divided in two categories, Rahu and Ketu, Alexander and Diogenes, black and white, ignorance and consciousness. Rahuish men and women also are attracted towards meditation, but their goal is that of the Ravana. Ravana was also a great tapasvi, a great meditative being. He was Rahuish. He attained many siddhis, supernatural powers. That was the goal of his meditation. Understand this. And I say this only to my close followers. Please understand this. Ravana was also a great meditative being, but his goal was to attain supernatural powers. You see, Rahu always has an agenda, the desire to acquire something through which it can attain more fame and more wealth and more control over others. That is exactly what Ravana did. And Ram was such a beautiful person. He also did intense penance in the forest, but he had absolutely no agenda. He meditated out of love, out of his devotion. Rama was indeed the most beautiful man who once walked on this planet. In the Himalayan region, there are many sadhus and babas meditating, but each one has a different goal. And then there are those rarest of rare, yogis whose goal is love, absolute unconditional love. With what intention you meditate is as important as how deeply you meditate. There are millions of sadhus and babas within our society who have attained siddhis, and they have simply become slave of the siddhis. Siddhis means supernatural powers. And then there are a few, very few within us, within the Himalayan mountain caves, who have always focused on the love of the Lord and ignored all the siddhis and the powers, because these powers can become a great hurdle between the sadhak and the Holy Father, that is the Lord. It is said that Akkalkot Swami Samartha, I address him as the great grandfather, the greatest star of wisdom. Akkalkot Swami Samartha once said to Bidkar Maharaj, don't get trapped and fascinated by the siddhis that you have, else you will never find the Lord. You will remain where you are, playing with the siddhis, that is getting trapped in your natural powers. Bidkar Maharaj's life story is truly inspiring. Bidkar Maharaj was once a great wealthy merchant of perfume, and he was so rich that he had almost everything that a man could desire for. All pleasures were at his feet: beautiful women, beautiful maids, luxury conveyances, you name it, and he had it. Then one day he met the master, Akkalkot Swami Samartha. And Swami was not a cat but a lion. His words were very sharp, and yet those divine words had the immense strength to transform. Bidkar realized the futility of all his riches, and slowly he started to cut down on his indulgence towards the pleasures of life. Transformation is a slow process. Always remember this. One day, Swami blessed Bidkar. Swami initiated him as his disciple, and from that day there was no turning back. Bidkar continued to excel in his meditations, but his business of perfume continued. One afternoon, Akkalkot Swami said to Bidkar, Bidkar, stop your perfume business. No more selling perfume. Stop it. Bidkar was not a common disciple, my fellows. Bidkar was not a common disciple. He immediately stopped his business of perfume, which was the only source of his income. You see, many men and women come and talk a lot and give long lectures on devotion and commitment to the Master. But when it comes to actual action, actual execution, the moment where you have to walk the talk, how many succeed? 1 in a million. Bidkar was that 1 in a million. And it is this Bidkar who later went on to become one of the greatest divine master. He came to be known as Bidkar Maharaj, who performed many miracles and guided many men and women. Today, Bidkar Maharaj Samadhi Mandir is in the heart of Pune city, just next to Omkareshwar Mandir. I often visit his shrine. It reminds me of a great disciple who truly lived his life in total surrender to his master, Akkalkot Swami Samartha. Life can transform, but people are not willing to jump within. People want remedies. They don't want to listen to the real remedy, meditation. People want rituals. They are not willing to listen to simple solution. Feeding the poor, feeding the animals, feeding the birds, feeding the fishes. And then, when they cannot understand me, they say they cannot connect to my sharing. Always remember, life is simple and solutions are also simple. You are running all over the temples and you don't know your family deity. Then who is at fault? Many simple solutions can solve your problem. But since you are driven by your mind, you want something fancy, something complicated, and then you smile. You feel that you have got something solid remedy to resolve your problems. In reality, simple has it. Simple man, simple woman. They are the ones whom God loves. They are the ones whom I love. They are the ones whom the Master loves. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but no simpler, says Einstein, one of the greatest scientists whom I love. A simple man can meditate beautifully. A simple woman can progress in her meditations much faster than those who are still trapped in their head. Because meditation is also a very simple process. Remember, meditation is simple. My meditation is simple. It does not require any complex practices. It is simple. It is singing in the praise of the Lord. It is chanting in the love of the Lord. It is dancing. It is sitting silently. Pure silence. Sitting silently, just sit silently in a closed room or a secluded place beneath a tree and relax. Relaxing your whole body is the first step towards meditation. Always remember this. Unless and until you relax, there is absolutely no chance of meditation happening. You ought to relax in totality. Don't seek, don't search, don't ask, don't knock, don't demand. Relax. Just relax. If you relax, it comes. If you relax, it is there. If you relax, you start vibrating with it. When you relax, you let the existence vibrate with you. And then the miracle happens. Then the mind takes the back seat and the self becomes the driving force. And then you find the answer to your question. The key is to relax. Relax and meditate in the beauty of deep silence. Let love be the goal. When you meditate with love and devotion, the help comes. Your voice is heard. You are no more without shelter. You are covered. Love to you all. I am really amazed to see so many of you following me. I am certain there must be something special within you, else you would not have been with me on this beautiful journey with God. You only appreciate that which is also within you. I am certain that those who are following me closely will one day experience the beyond, the divine, and then life will be no more the same. Then there will be a dance, a song, a beautiful poem, a beautiful painting. A time should come in your life when your life becomes a painting, when your life becomes a poem. Life, no matter how difficult seems to be, you can make it easy. You can transform it into a beautiful poem. I have experienced it, my fellows. You can also experience it. All you need is a beautiful heart. All you need is faith in your master. All you need is patience. You become spiritual in the true sense only when you start turning inwards. The real journey is the journey within. Turn inwards and meditate every morning, every evening, 20 minutes minimum. And remember to chant every day and every evening. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Jai Sri Ganesha. Jai Guru. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.